What a silly setup.
Tales of Weird Stuff presents Packard Bell voices Thulsa Doom.
It's time to look at another vintage PC that needs some TLC for sure. I already have the rubber gloves ready for this one because it is filthy. It is just kind of nasty. I picked this up over the summer at, I think, an estate sale. I remember there was a stack of similar kind of fairly generic, mass-produced PCs from similar era. This is a Packard Bell Legend 233. And they were all in similar, pretty icky looking condition. And I was not particularly interested. But I gave them all at least a once over. I'm generally not interested in computers like this because they tend to be pretty boring. There's usually nothing interesting inside of them, and I've not had a lot of good luck trying to resell and rehome these kinds of computers, and I have plenty of 486s and 386s. There has to be something interesting about a computer at this point for me to bring it home, unless I'm pretty sure that I can rehome it pretty easily. Aside from the filth, this is a pretty, like I had mentioned before, a pretty generic Packard Bell Legend 233 and it still has the sticker on it. That's probably going to remove that. It is in really rough shape. We'll see. 46 SX33 processor, 340 meg hard drive, 4 megs of RAM, upgradable to 36 megs. So that means that the 4 megabytes is probably surface mounted chips on the motherboard with probably a single 72-pin SIM slot. 1280 by 1024 extended VGA. And Packard Bell Power Pack Plus with local bus video, plus upgradable processor and more. Fax modem and mouse included. Well, I didn't get the mouse, so I do feel like I maybe got a little bit ripped off. It has a CD-ROM drive, which was probably a later upgrade. What else is interesting on the front? The dual floppies were probably installed in the system when it came from Packard Bell. I'm finding the difference in the color of the two floppies, which match each other but don't match either the yellowed plastic up here or the painted metal up here, so difficult to say. So why did I bring this home? It's just, you can't even have a good time playing Doom on this thing. See my previous videos on this topic. Why did I bring this home? Well, it surely wasn't the wide array of Microsoft software preloaded and ready to run. So the thing that I looked for on the back, everything is integrated. Even the modem is integrated. What caught my eye was this. And as I had covered once before in a video, for the most part, sound cards that have a volume knob like this are very old and are generally very valuable. My guess, from looking at this, and I probably could have looked it up based on the configuration of these ports and probably could have already figured out exactly what this is. My guess is that this is probably an old 8-bit Sound Blaster card, maybe a Sound Blaster Pro. It's possible that it's a Sound Blaster 16. I think the very first versions of the Sound Blaster 16 also had a volume knob, like the very first couple models. But for other projects that I have going on, I'm really hoping for 8-bit sound card. And it looks like someone was in this and did a really shoddy job putting the screws back in. Use this screwdriver. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what's inside and see if the interior filth matches the exterior filth. And like I said, all of the computers that were in this pile, I mean, they look like they've literally been stored outside. So I don't think I spent very much on this. Probably for a computer in this condition that looks like it's been stored outside, that may or may not particularly have harvestable parts from, I wouldn't have paid more than maybe $20 for it, completely untested like this. Let's see, which way does this want to come off? This way. So when I bought it, they wanted me to... Oh, okay. All right, interesting. They really are you interested in any of those other computers? Would you please take them, please? Like, no, thank you. All right, so this is a Sound Blaster 16, which is a little bit disappointing. One of the 8-bit Sound Blasters would have been more useful to me. Nonetheless, these are very cool cards, and they are useful to have around. And it looks like, so this is connected to the CD-ROM. So probably what happened was this likely didn't have a sound card in it to begin with, and someone upgraded added the sound card and the CD-ROM at the same time. Especially given that, now that I'm actually paying attention to what's going on in here, that the sound card is, I'm actually going to leave that, is connected to the CD-ROM drive. So, and I don't remember, I don't know if this would have been an IDE CD-ROM at this point then, connecting to a Sound Blaster such as this, or if it would be one of the other goofball proprietary interfaces. Oh, that is really, does not want to let go. The good news is there's barely even any dust in this thing. The inside is super, super clean. So that's good. So it seems pretty likely. I just want to see what's underneath this on this board. And it is, there we go. Okay, so 46SX33 in an upgradable socket, so this could be replaced with something else. Cirrus Logic GD5424 with one RAM chip and that is an odd configuration because there's sockets for memory chips here and a socket for a zip RAM here. Are both of these possible video RAM upgrades? That is really odd. And then there are... So at least I had the 72-pin SIM part correct in my guess, but there are two. So this could take two 16-megabyte SIMs. And wow, this is just so clean inside. There's not even... Yeah, there's basically no dust on that CPU. Let's see, is there anything interesting inside here? Especially that's kind of odd. The the modem is on like a little riser card right here that looks like it's just connected by this weird little ribbon cable. So that's kind of bizarre. So there is a... Oh! Varta! Okay. There... This repair just got interesting. So there is a Varta battery in there. And it has done what Varta batteries do. Oh, that is... So the power button is here. No? Where is the power button? Let me look at the front of the case. Oh, power button is here. And there is a plastic armature. What a silly setup. What a silly... Because they just wanted to use an off-the-shelf AT power supply So they had to build this goofy arm to connect around so that you could physically interact with the power switch. That is kind of ridiculous. All of the screws on the outside that held things together were normal sort of Phillips screwdrivers that also have the nut head in them. The screws on the inside, though, are flathead screws with a really, really, really small hex head. So this may end up being a little bit annoying. I don't really need to oh, that does not look good down there. Okay, and that... You know what? Actually, I don't think I need these anymore. Because the only thing that's left here that is particularly dirty, other than the battery acid leakage, which I think they could see from space, is so bad. I don't... Oh, that's weird. The only other thing that's dirty is the outside of the floppy drive here. Now, how does this want to come? So it looks like I'm really uncertain how this comes apart. Although there's three more of these goofy little flathead screws over here. Okay, stay down there. See if I care. So this is just holding the actual floppy drive in this frame, which isn't particularly what I want. I want this frame to come out because the way that these are slotted, it looks like this whole cage slides out, but maybe... Now I have another horrifically battery damaged system that I'm trying to repair. So the floppy drive was a Panasonic model JU257134P that looks fabulous, other than the front being dirty. I'll be able to clean that up here shortly. Okay, so... Oh wait, there's a Phillips screw right here. Maybe that was the only thing that I actually needed to take out, and then this whole cage will come out. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. So when that comes out, those two come out. Except, looking at it, this cage is riveted down. There's rivets. And there's not... Oh. Yeah, they're just rivets. So this isn't going to come out. Okay, so I didn't need to particularly do any of that floppy drive messing about. I'll remove this hard drive though. And the hard drive is a Connor CFA 340A. So this is probably the original drive because I'm going to guess that it's 340 megabytes, which matches what the sticker on the top of the case said. I really want to get enough stuff out of the way here so that I need to extract the motherboard so that I can set about trying to save it from the leaking battery. Now we can maybe get a good look at, oh my gosh. Wow. That is, wow. So the other computer that I'm trying to rescue from battery damage, the damage is similar scale. This one, being that it's a 46SX, I'm going to clean it, and that's about it. That is about all the more effort that I'm going to put into a 46 motherboard. The other one that is kind of a long-term project is a Pentium Pro motherboard, and those are quite a bit less common. And so I'm more inclined to put, oh, that sounded crunchy. We'll set that screw off to the side. I'm more inclined to put effort into trying to save that. The problem is when I removed the leaking battery and started trying to clean up a bunch of the corrosion, a couple of teeny tiny components broke off the motherboard. And there is just a spectacular amount of damage on that board. So, oh, that's cute. So, okay. So there's one last motherboard screw hiding underneath the modem. That is a lot of corrosion on there. Oh boy. I wish I would have left the gloves on now. Okay, let's... Oh my gosh, it even got through and has massively corroded inside the case here. So that is pretty yucky. Right there. Although it will be fun when I pour some vinegar on it, which I don't have any over here. Let me go get some white vinegar, and we'll watch the volcano. All right, here is my my entry for the third grade science fair. Oh, interesting. So it is just corroded. Oh no, there's some bubbling going on. Okay. So yeah, there's just a bit. It's not quite as spectacular as I was anticipating, or frankly that I was hoping for, because at this point, looking at that at the damage on the board, I think the excitement of watching the bubbles is about all we're going to get out of this computer, which, you know, is fine. That's, you know, I bought it on the hopes that the sound card would be cool, and the sound card is not what I was hoping for, but it is still something cool. Those are still absurdly expensive. I haven't looked it up, but I'm sure that I will question our reality when I look it up and see how expensive they are. I'm certain of that. All right, I'm going to let that bubble. I can still see it bubbling a little bit. And then as for the Varta itself here, let me just turn that around. And I'm going to yeet it right now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there is so much damage on a bunch of these little passives and other components. Ugh. Such a waste. Ugh. Ugh. Wow, that is so bad. All right, so this is going to get the same treatment as that, except I'm going to do the motherboard. Oh man, it's even over here at the what is that? The floppy connector. Folks, I don't I'm not holding out a lot of hope for this. I'm not holding out very much hope at all. I'm going to let that finish bubbling. I'm going to go give this basically the same treatment, but I'm going to do it over at the utility sink. I'm probably going to let this sit overnight, so when I come back to this, there will be a wardrobe change. It's been maybe almost 2 weeks since I last looked at this computer. In that intervening time, I have completely reset up my capture setup. I have new lights, which I think I had for the last video. Some of this was recorded before that, and obviously some after. And I've completely replaced the computer that was doing it, so hopefully there won't be any of the problems that I was having before. I have cleaned this. It got a good dose of vinegar to try to neutralize the leaking alkaline stuff that came out of the batteries. Got a good working over with using a toothbrush and some IPA, and it is in pretty, and I mean this both figuratively and literally, it is in pretty rough shape. Like it looks pretty bad, and also it has a very, especially on, I'm gonna flip this over to try to show on the back. So there's some damage on the back, and it feels there's a texture to it. Now, one thing I have not previously observed, I mean, I've seen a lot of boards that are damaged by leaking batteries, but this is the only one that I can think of that I've observed where the PCB is bleached. I don't know. I don't remember having observed that, or maybe just the other PCBs were light enough in color that the color change wasn't quite so dramatic. I don't know. Anyway, I don't have a lot of hope for this. I've looked at it. It is still pretty rough. It could probably be cleaned up a bit more. I think what I'm going to do, I don't know. Let me look at this. Oh, it is just so bad. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to just hook it up and see what happens. See if there are any signs of life at all out of it, and then decide to go on. I have a lot of 46 computers of this kind of generation, and I don't feel like going to heroic efforts to save this. I have so many other projects that I don't want to spend tens of hours trying to save this. So this video may be, the remainder of this video may be sadness and then testing that Sound Blaster card in a different 486. So I'm going to grab the rest of the system and I'm going to hook it up, and we'll see what it does, if anything. I put a postcard in just to see if anything happens. We get any life out of this. I just put in a couple screws to kind of hold it in place because the little standoffs are all metal and I didn't want it to short out. But other than that, I've just put it in and hooked up the power supply. There's none of the other peripherals connected. All right, let's go for broke. Oh, and it is dead as dead can be dead. All I have on the postcard is dashes. That is not a good sign, friends. That is not a good sign. Looking at it though, yeah, all the voltage lights are fine. Let's see, does this? Yeah. I think it's toast, and I think it's pretty far beyond what I want to mess with. All right, so I'm going to put this back together-ish. I'm going to do that off camera, and I will probably see if someone in my local area wants this. Maybe someone wants to go through the effort of trying to save this thing, but I sure don't. But I'm not just gonna scrap it straight away. Okay. I can turn that off and all right. But I do really want to test the Sound Blaster, so I'm gonna get a different 46 and hook it up, and I can at least test, the floppy drives and the CD-ROM drive and all that stuff, and see if the rest of it works. So what I have done is I have transferred the Sound Blaster, the CD-ROM, and the hard drive into a different computer. And it turns out this computer, this was one of the 46s from my that Doom benchmarking that I did right about a year ago. And it turns out it has a Cirrus Logic card that is really close to the one that was in the dead Packard Bell. I want to say this is a 5426, and the chip that's in the other one is a 5424. So it's as close as we're gonna get. It's a totally different CPU, but let's see if this hard drive, see if it wants to play and do anything, do any kind of cooperation. I have the webcam pointing at the screen instead of pointing at me. So, all right, moment of truth. All right, it's doing something. I did power it on enough to turn on the CD-ROM drive and eject it and put a disk in it, so I know at least it does that, but I want to check to see if actually reading disks and whatnot will work. Oh, wait. All right, Windows for workgroups. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll black that out. Oh! And I plugged in headphones and I heard the sound. All right, what is on here? Wow, that is a big chunky mouse pointer. Okay, so some stuff. Any fun games? Oh, open. There we go. Okay. Well, I mean, there's Minesweeper. That's something. Let's see in the Sierra. Print artist? Okay, I don't know what that is. All right, well, there's not... I don't see anything in here that looks fun or particularly interesting in Windows, and I don't want to go digging through their Quicken or any of that. That is such a ridiculous mouse pointer. All right, so let's see... Oh, I'm aware it will end my Windows session. Okay. Now, let's see anything on there that looks interesting. All right, let's see if it... No, okay, so that's not the CD-ROM. Oh, okay, so that's the CD-ROM. Alright, well, it looks like that works. Okay, well, that's cool. We got some sound out of the Sound Blaster. I'm going to kind of put this thing back. I'm going to put this computer back the way it was. And I'm going to check out the Sound Blaster a little bit more. Alright. Yay. I mean, what else could I have possibly meant when I said that I wanted to test sound on this system? Alright. So FM. Alright. FM and digital audio seem to work fine. I think that's a good enough test for me. And the little volume on the back of the card. And you can hear there's one thing about a lot of these early sound cards. I don't know how well it'll come through on the mic, but when I turn the volume all the way up, there is a lot the noise floor, as they call it, is really terrible. You can hear like a background high pitch noise, and that happened also with headphones. It is just a factor of a lot of these old
old PC sound cards. Which is one thing that's very cool about projects like the Pico Gus is they recreate this kind of experience, but with actual decent quality output. Well, that didn't turn out the way I was hoping, but it's not a total bust. I mean, those sound blasters are pretty cool, and they do have reasonable value. So I came out ahead on the deal. I think I'm going to try to find someone in my local area who wants to actually repair that system, and I will just give it to them. If I can't find anyone to take it, I'll go ahead and part it out. I mean, there are some, in addition to the removable components, there are some useful things on it, like those, I think that, oh no, it has 72 pin SIM sockets. I don't know. I'll figure something out with it, and yeah, if nothing else, like the power supply is useful, and there's some socketed chips on it, like the CPU that are useful, and I'll part it out and e-waste it. But while I was doing this, I was reminded that clear back almost a year ago, I think it was last February, I took that huge long road trip down to Medford, Oregon to get a bunch of stuff, and I seem to remember that I picked up a computer, I think a 46 in its original box that also had a leaking battery that I've completely forgotten about. So I think to repent for giving up on the Packard Bell, I'm going to get that machine out here pretty soon, and I'm going to see if I can repair that and restore that. My recollection from looking at that system before, the battery had started to leak a little bit, but it wasn't a wasteland like that system. So it should still, even after another year, it should hopefully still be able to be rescued. So I'll go ahead and give that a go to repent for giving up on that. If you would like to see that video, that will probably come up pretty soon. I would think I need to get that out. I won't let it sit too long. If you would like to see that video, I highly recommend that you subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this, or if you didn't enjoy it, you know what to do. There's other buttons to be clicked down there. And until next time, try to remember the good stuff.